Hey guys, welcome to the Prepping Preacher. I'm Brother Tim. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, we're going to take a look at the supply chain and how it's going to dramatically affect us. So stay tuned. As I said, this is the Prepping Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim, and I'm glad you're here, and I hope God is truly blessing you. If it's your first time with us, man, well, let me explain something. We are pro-God. We're pro-family. We are pro-life. We are pro-Second Amendment. That means gun, things that go bang. We're pro-military and police, and we support our veterans. So if any of them offend you, well, Junior, go find you another channel, because you're going to hear about them on this channel if you stay around long enough. And I know you're upset because you can only give me one thumbs down, but hey, I catch your drift, man. Go ahead and hit it and get on out of here, because we're going to talk today. But you guys that have been around, thank you. God bless you. I'm glad you've been here, man, and support. The comments, God bless you. I'm just amazed. I am amazed. And the prayer requests that we're doing. Always remember that you can put a prayer request down in the comments, and we do pray for you. And sometimes we even get prayer chains going with all the people all over the world that are on this channel. So again, it is a community, and we try to take care of each other, and we definitely lift each other up in prayer. But hey, the purpose of this video is we're going to talk a little bit about our supply chain and how so many links of it have been broken now. Well, I know this may sound like a broken record, guys, but the supply chain is broken. It's missing a few links, as a matter of fact. You can see, just some of the shelves, and a lot of people are experiencing this, where some items are just not making it to the shelves. And see, the mainstream media, they spoke about this once or twice after we saw the clogging up of the West Coast harbors, but then they moved on to the next house fire, the next new news, whether it be Britney Spears appearing naked or whatever it was. And even the White House got jumped into the mix here, and you can see one article about 2 weeks ago. They said they were going to fix it. Now, if that don't scare you, yeah, they'll fix it all right. But this problem didn't happen overnight. A lot of people are blaming it strictly on the COVID, and it's not. You see, American corporations began to practice what was called JIT, just-in-time manufacturing, where they would get parts roll in just in time to make it, or they get product roll in just in time to sell it. And with the advent of NAFTA, I saw so many steel jobs disappear with it, and making China a favored nation, some of these corporations, they moved everything overseas or to these other countries. And it was all about one thing: profit, the mighty dollar. That's what they worship. And they began moving all this manufacturing away from us. And again, you think of it in a business sense, why shouldn't they? I mean, as long as the supply chain runs smoothly, didn't have any hiccups, well, that was perfect. You could order parts or products from China, and in a matter of weeks, they'd be on your loading dock, ready to be put together or sold. And at a fraction of the cost, because they were using slave labor, still are using slave labor there in China. But had a hiccup. COVID exposed a lot of the weak links of the chain. As COVID hit China, well, they started shutting down their plants and shutting their doors, and the demand was still there. As a matter of fact, the demand kind of went up because people were being sequestered here, or quarantined here, and so they were ordering more stuff off the internet and hard goods. And so we saw it, and the docks were getting shut down here, and trucking industries began having shortages in drivers and trucks, and even a rail car shortage has all contributed to this. But it's like, you break one link, the chain is worthless. You can't use it, and that's what's happening. And see, once this huge machine of this supply chain broke down, shut down, that is, the slowdown began around the spring of 2020, but it was coming. It's almost been impossible to crank this bad boy up. And the West Coast is totally clogged. You've probably seen some of the reports of that. We spoke a little bit about it on Friday. Anywhere from 66 ships to 100 ships or more are waiting to be unloaded. New York, Savannah had a couple dozen each waiting. Now, in a perfect scenario, they tell us that it would take approximately 3 to 5 days to unload one of those ships. They hold about 13,000 of those big containers. And that is if they had a place to store the container once they took it off the ship. All right? But the problem is they don't have the trucks or the rail to get up under the ones that have been unloaded. So they've got a backlog. They've got a huge inventory of these containers that haven't moved. And where there's nowhere to store them, no more ships are being offloaded until they have the room for the containers to be stored. Now, one report I saw, they stated that 88 ships were waiting on the West Coast, just the West Coast. But what I want to show you is a current picture here of the West Coast with ships. And this is the maritime charts here. Here's a picture around the coast of China. And now here is a picture of the world. There are so many ships in transit right now. And I just read in another article that ships that are on time right now, 10%, 1 out of 10 are on time. And there's not enough trucks, not enough truckers to get up under them, nor rail cars to handle what is on the coast right now. It's bad, and folks, I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse. It's become so bad that Costco, Walmart, and a few other corporations have begun leasing their own ships. And these are smaller ships so that they can haul less cargo and get in some of the smaller ports that aren't as congested as those on the West Coast and some of those on the East Coast. So Costco's already placed limits on its paper goods, on water, on cleaning goods, and I've received email after email from you guys telling me different items that are being limited in the stores or aren't even available. Well, as you can see, there's some empty spots in these shelves. It's just an item here or an item there. It's just one or two things at a time, but they're beginning to add up. So I guess the question becomes, what does this broken supply chain affect? How's it going to affect us? Well, it's going to affect most all goods. Food, for example, can be affected by oils and grains not being shipped or stuck in the port. Not only the food, but the packaging of the food also. The aluminum, there's a shortage on aluminum right now. Mylar, plastic, all are becoming short in supply. Electronics, that's almost a given. Cars, automobiles, automobile parts, they're becoming a rarity. You're seeing prices just go through the roof. You're seeing, appliances. Some are having 6 months to a year pushed out wait to get appliances in. Even like AA batteries and AAA batteries, they come from Asia, from Malaysia, and different places. Your clothing, all right, most of our clothing is manufactured overseas. I mean, cotton is at record highs, and the cotton is going to be shipped over there, manufactured into something, and shipped back. So that's a double length there. And so, folks, here's the deal. We've outsourced ourselves to our own demise. And now with this broken chain, where a container, I read, used to cost, pre-COVID or pre-China virus, cost $5,000 to ship from China to Illinois. It's now $26,000. Now, you got to answer the question, who's going to pay that extra cost? It's not going to be the manufacturer. It's not going to be the retailer. We are. And with our dollar slowly eroding away and hardly worth anything anyway, and inflation going up, this is just going to add more fuel to the fire to have less buying power. And if the supply chain being broke wasn't bad enough, now we're seeing reports, here you go, of China having an energy crunch. Well, what that's causing is they're shutting down factories again because they don't have the energy. And so here we go, another piece of the chain is being broken off. And so it's going to get worse. I don't believe it's going to get better. So now the question is, what do we as preppers, as people trying to be prepared, what should we be doing to stay ahead of the game? Well, number one, as I said, is a given electronics. Let's look at electronics. Batteries. Like I said, most of them are made in Malaysia and China. We're going to be doing a video on the best batteries that we found for the buck and showing you some of it. But batteries, battery chargers, the gear for them, adapters. Generators. If you're thinking about generator, well, You might need to start looking at getting one. Solar cells and power banks is another one. Radios, two-way, and and also some of the weather radios and emergency radios. That would be something because they're made overseas. Food, specifically here, look at food preservation items. And when I say that, we've all seen the canning jar lid fiasco of this last year or two. Well, it's also probably going to affect the Mylar bags and the food saver bags because a lot of that is manufactured overseas also. And so if you're planning on putting up beans and planning on putting up rice and lentils and different things, and you use Mylar bags, I would suggest getting them now. I'll put a link down there, the ones I use. All right, clothing. Have you got a good winter coat? Have you got some jeans and different things? Socks, underwear. Well, if cotton's going up, well, all that stuff's going to go up also. Boots. A lot of boots are made overseas. I try to buy American made, but it's harder and harder to do it. Everything's being outsourced. But look at basic items like that. Gloves, put them up. Them are just some of the items that come to my mind right now as I'm talking to you guys. You see, I don't see us coming out of this fiasco anytime soon. I really don't. And with the current administration we got, he could care less. As long as he's got his tapioca and he can sit in the basement, he's fine. But I'm telling you, it's going to hit us. It's going to hit the working man a lot harder than it's going to hit any of those guys that are making all these decisions up there. My suggestion for us is to try and forecast what you'll need for at least the next 6 months to a year. Now, when I'm saying that, we talk about food insurance, but I'm also talking about hard goods, toothbrushes, toothpaste, all hygiene stuff. It's all going up, and it's also going to be harder to get because a lot of it, if it's not made in China, parts of it are being outsourced to China, okay? If you're contemplating putting in a solar system, I would stop the contemplating and procrastinating and get it now. The same way with your generator. If you've been looking at generators, get you a generator because there's parts on it that are made overseas. Tires. Most of our tires are made overseas. If you need tires on your vehicle, you think you're going to need them in the next 6 months to a year, put you some new shoes on that pickup. All right, you'll be not only money, but you'll be worry ahead. You won't have to worry about it. Okay, and see, that's what we try to do, is we try to hedge our bets. We try to make sure we got ourselves covered. And always remember, man, have a plan A, plan B, plan C. You keep falling back, be fluid. But guys, that's just how I'm seeing this supply chain fiasco falling out. It's not broken. The links are missing is what's going on. But don't you ever worry, because we don't have a spirit of fear, but we have a spirit of power and of love and of sound mind. He told us that. We can take that to the bank. So guys, I love you. I want the best for you. And until I see you again, I pray God may richly bless you, that you'll continue to stand in that gap. This is the Prepping Preacher, guys. I'm out of here.